All right, here we are with the opportunity to go through another roll. This is roll reveal number 571. It is a 1946S roll. Nice uncirculated red roll here. And we're going to pop it open and see what's inside. Lots of RPMs, some double dies, OMM, number of different things to possibly see here. And let's go ahead and get started. Dump the roll and get moving. Here's Mickey. One for Mickey. And we've got pretty decent camera setup here already, so it won't take much to get us in place. Let me knock the light down just a little bit. Oh, that's a little bit too much. There we go. Don't want to blind everybody. So here we are. I see there's someone else in here watching. Okay, so far, let me bring it in just a little bit closer. So far, I'm not seeing anything on the date mint mark area. Hello, Stan. Good evening, sir. Let's get around here and see if we have anything else to look at on this particular coin. Let's take a look at the reverse now. This one I'm not sure is part of an original roll. It's a relatively decent coin, but it's not mark free like I would expect to see on a more natural coin. Let's see what else we have here and how far we need to go. Move that keyboard out of the way. Don't need to type while we're doing this. There's one for Calipigian. Calipigian's coin looks really nice. And it is a regular serif mint mark. So the last one was sans serif. This one's a regular serif mint mark, and I do believe it could be a minor RPM. Maybe not. I thought I was seeing an RPM there. And I may still have been, but it doesn't necessarily look like one from this standpoint, so I'm just going to leave it alone for now. Do we have a doubled I, maybe? No. Not a doubled I. Doubling perhaps in God We Trust anywhere? No. Doubling on Liberty? No. Let's check the reverse of this one. It's actually a big long hit on the coin that's not struck through. A little bit of light damage, you might call it, on the reverse there. That one's for Calipigian. That's coin number 2. Now coin number 3. Crispy. Crispy up next. This is the only reveal I'm going to be doing for today. I'm trying to get my work spaced out so that I can get it all done prior to my having to leave for a extended visit. And for right now, I'm kind of trying to rake together projects and get everything all shut down and closed up so I can go. And part of that will involve doing the reveals that I still yet owe. I've still got 7 reveals left to do. I may or may not get them all done before I leave, but I will certainly give it a shot. Hello, Frosty. Good evening, sir. Here is coin number 4. This is for Wanda. That's another sans serif mint mark. And I'm not seeing any doubling here on that side. Let's check the reverse. Now, there really aren't any wonderful known double die reverses for 1946S that I know of. That doesn't stop us from looking at least the first 10 coins to see if we find anything. But we're going to center most of our attention on the obverse side, because the obverse side is where you'd find anything else. Okay, it's a regular 46S large mint mark, or the serif style mint mark. One of these days I'm going to put out 3 coin sets of 1946S and BU that will show you all the different mint mark styles known for 1946S. That way we can, what's that? Oh, just a stain. We can have knowledge that there are 3 styles of mint mark for 1946S. They are easily discernible as being different from one another. And there is an RPM. That is a nice RPM right there. That one's for Mickey. You'll find a lot of repetition in this particular roll as far as people are concerned, because this was the second available roll of 2. And a lot of people had already gotten theirs in the first roll. So this second roll went to, I'm going to say, probably about 10 or 12 different people. And Frosty, you're one of the ones who has a number of spots, probably 4 or 5 spots in this roll. Mickey also. Crispy has a number of spots in this roll. So that one was an RPM. That goes to Mickey. It was an RPM coin number 6. Too bad Mickey's not here. Or he's not making himself known, if he is here. There's one for Taco John. And it's another sans serif. Anytime you see an S mint mark on a 1946S and it has a very plain looking top, it is a sans serif mint mark. Sans serif being without serifs, a French term. And it looks like we have nothing else on this one, so let's keep moving. Coin number 7, down and out. Here's coin number 8, Miss Fletcher. And this is the serif mint mark, because this one has triangles at both corners. And it's the regular or serif mint mark. That's what that looks like. Still trying to get established in the roll, figure out what we're looking at, what we've got, what we don't got. Yes, my English is beautiful today. What we don't got. What we don't got, we often don't need. We just think we do. All right, Josie's going to get a normal coin here, so let's move on to coin number 9 and see what happens with coin number 9. This one goes to Deanne. And coin number 9 turns out to be a regular serif mint mark. And looks like could be doubling on the T on the left side of the letter. Could be. Let's see here. Get this cranked on around, take a look at the TR. I don't see anything else, so I may or may not be able to ascertain that as a double die. Here's coin number 9, a reverse side. And the reverse on coin number 9 shows as normal. Now we're going to move on. Coin number 10, Frostbite. Frosty comes out for more. And what does he get? Well, it's a sans serif mint mark. I'm kind of working toward the idea of probably not an RPM. Probably not. See what else we have here, if anything. Yeah, we've got nothing else here. So we'll move on. Calipigian. Calipigian now. Let's take a look. Another serif mint mark. This one's not quite punched in as heavily into the die as some of the others that you've seen, which is why it looks a little weaker. But it's the style of mint mark that we're talking about, not the strength. Can't really use the strength in determining what you have. You need to know the shapes and what shape each different mint mark is. Yes, I know I said I was going to stop doing the reverses after coin number 10, but hello, Calipigeon. Good evening, sir. Here's coin number 12 now. Number 12 goes to Eric. And coin number 12 appears to be normal. So we move ourselves on to coin number 13 now. Coin number 13 goes to Wanda. I have not been doing a lot lately toward any of the projects that I have started because I've been waffling about a trip to Florida to visit with my father and to get some work done with Eric. And I am working in a number of ways to put some funding together to be able to get a working patent for the coin cards and the idea of how they go together, and then to get a federal trademark for them so that I can produce and sell. Right now I don't want to just throw them out there without protection. And that protection costs quite a bit to get involved in. And so I have been working a little harder than usual, a little extra hard, hello Tyler, to put together some funding to be able to take care of this appropriation of creditable protection for the work that I'm doing. Then I will finish the cards and the idea of how the cards will go together, and then I will do a crowdfunding source in Kickstarter where you'll have the opportunity to pick up things that will not be published to everyone, only to those who get involved in different levels in the Kickstarter will be able to get some of the things that I will be offering. But a Kickstarter will give you your money's worth and more for anyone who wants to be involved in the process of these cards being published. Kind of got nothing on some of these coins here. We've run across one nice RPM so far in the roll, but we haven't found anything else yet. Nice marker, that die scratch right in front of the lips, but it has to be a marker for something, which this is not. So I call those wasted markers. You got a beautiful marker on your coin, but it's wasted because it's not telling us the coin has anything on it. Yeah, it tends to be a little problem. All right, here's one for Crispy. And Crispy gets, it's a normal coin. Got a number of coins here that are showing a little bit of weakness toward the end of trust. It's a pretty commonplace to show weakness. The opposite side of the coin would be right out here, whereas at the end of the trust. And so a little bit of weakness in the strike on some of these, especially this one. That tends to be a very normal thing for the S-Mint coins. which is why finding beautiful coins that are extremely well struck is kind of a scarcity. What did I just find here? Okay. That's a spot. I thought it was a hump of metal. I was about to get excited. You know, kind of how it looks like, sort of like a lower serif, but it's not. 'Tis just a hump of gunk that found its way onto the coin. There's probably a rim clip right there. You can see a lot of weakness in the rim just above the space between the D and the W. That's probably a rim clip. And got nothing else here. Let's check the other side where that "we" is. Would be right down here. And it's kind of hard to tell when you have rim thickness and weakness or anything on an area that doesn't have much design, but it is a very late die state, so it could be a rim clip. But even as a rim clip, it's not going to be very valuable, simply because it's just on the rim and it doesn't really affect a whole lot of the design. And in fact, rim clips can be small enough that your coin can still be completely round. It just didn't fill up the rim all the way because of a very, very tiny clip that was on the planchet when it went into the minting chamber and was minted into a coin. I sound all official. Not one skip in my terminology. Shows I've been doing this for just a little while. A 59p in BU with 2 little clips. That's awesome. More than one clip is a multiple clip, and multiple clips are quite a bit better than having single clips. Sometimes I've seen coins that had 3 clips, and 3 clips is just like super cool. Here's one for Miss Fletcher. And we have a, man, that's a really stripy coin right there. That's got it going on right there with the woody. Have a lot of grain in that coin. All right, here's Mr. Fletcher. Let's see what Mr. Fletcher gets. Coin number 23. I'm not seeing any of our bunch of cool stuff on that one. 3 clips, but you can barely see the third. Just make sure that none of your clips happen to be Blakesley effect based on another clip on the coin. Sometimes people can mistake a Blakesley effect, a weakness in the rim from the opposite edge of a clip, as another clip. But if that's not what you have, then a triple clip is actually kind of cool, really cool. The bigger those clips are, the better. Wood for Frosty. It's getting a wee bit late in the day, isn't it? I decided I needed to hit this, and I need to hit it hard, because I figured out that I've got 8 rolls that need to be done before I leave here. Or I'll have to carry them to Florida and do them while I'm in Florida, and that's not as easy. One for Mickey. Everybody gets used to their own little workstation. Eric has a nice workstation, but that's his. It's not mine. He's used to his workstation. This is a regular serif mint mark here. Not another. Oh, it's an RPM? Now, wait a minute. Oh, a 60D with a small one. Okay. I thought you were still talking about your 59p, and I'm thinking, how could that be an RPM? Somewhere we have a disconnect. Okay, here we go. Next up, well, that one's not going to have anything for us. That's for Mr. Crispy. Deanne now. Is Mickey going to be the only RPM in this entire roll? What's up, Sand Digger? Got a lot of Woodies in here. One for Ant. And Ant can't. Oops, there goes another rubber tree. I'm spooky spacing tonight. I'm having a hard time figuring out. I think that's just a hit on the top of the center of the mint mark. Or maybe it could be something more. Let's see what else I have going on up here and see if I... Oh, I've got some staining, that's for sure. Okay, what I'm looking at right now is the top of the 1 and the top of the 9. That there is some chance that I could infer that as a double die on the top 1 and the top of the 9. But it really kind of resembles machine doubling as well. So I'm going to put this one to the side. I'll let Eric take a special look at that one. There's a lot of these that have weak strikes for some reason. Well, because they're San Francisco mint, that's part of why. Here's another one for Mickey. Let's see what Mickey gets this time. Well, it looks like he's going to get the same thing a lot of other people in the row are going to get, which is a regular, normal 1946S Serif mint mark. With no double die. Now, they set the machines light in San Francisco so their die life would last longer. And it's either that or their machines were incapable of striking coins any heavier. I'm not exactly sure which it was, but San Francisco is pretty well known for having a lot of slightly weak strikes to very weak strikes in wheat cents. It's just a kind of a typical thing. Late die states, weak strikes, a lot of mushy things going on. That one's Frosty's number 31, now 32. 32 now Deanne. Here's one for Deanne. That's going to be another normal Serif mint mark coin. Nothing so far, Mark. I've found one nice RPM, and that one went to Mickey. And I have found one coin that looks like could have doubling on the 1/9 of the date, but I'm kind of iffy on that. Other than that, we're just going through a roll of 46S here, just having a good old time. Oh, chubby pop chaser. And one for Taco John. And it looks like I have nothing special going on in this one either. Bummer. Number 35 now. This one goes straight to Eric. And what do we have for Eric? Nothing. Another bumdinger. Let's see, number 36 now. All these coins look pretty nice when you kind of hold them under the light and look at them. It's when you stick them under a microscope and you really get down to the nitty-gritty, looking at every little tiny detail and every little tiny flaw, that you realize that something very imperfect can look so perfect without wonderful eyesight, right? Randy, good evening and welcome to the show. 1946S is well known for repunch mint marks. There are over 50 different repunch mint marks known for 1946S Lincoln cents. There is also at least one nice double die obverse that shows a lot of doubling in Liberty. I think there is a second one that shows doubling in the 1/9 of the date. And then there is an over mint mark, S over D, where you can clearly see a D punched beneath the S. The S overlaps the D. And then there is a known scarce mint mark style. And this one right here happens to be the normal serif S mint mark. We've found some sans serif S mint marks. That's S mint marks with no serifs at the corners. That one's also normal. And then there is the ball serif mint mark, which we have not found yet today. I don't think we found any of them in the last roll either. This is another regular serif mint mark. Serif or large S, sometimes called the large S. The ball serif is also sometimes called a trumpet tail. I prefer to use them by their more commonly known names so we can spread those more commonly known names and make the less common names go away, because it becomes kind of confusing when you're talking about 3 mint mark styles and you got 7 names for them. This is a regular serif mint mark. It's punched much more thinly. There's a weak strike right there because your T is not even filling in very well. We take this one over to the reverse and we'll see how light that strike is, because there'll be a lot of details on the reverse that will be nearly incomplete. Like generally the middle area of United States of America, and generally, well, see, this one is actually a relatively strong strike, I guess. So that must have been grease plugging up the obverse die. But Randy, yes, to answer your question, 1946S is a very nice active year for really nice die varieties. That, and here's another regular serif S mint mark. And we just have a lot of really cool stuff to look for. And not only that, but also 1946S is a very expensive uncirculated roll. You'll expect to find at least, your price tag is going to be at least $225 to $250 on one of these rolls. A lot of times they'll sell for between $275 and $325 though. That would be a full-blown retail price. So what I charged on these was the price of one coin in a $250 roll, which was $5. That was the end of the roll right there at one point in time, which is why that coin had a darker reverse than the obverse. Here's one for Taco John. Taco John will take this coin home, and it has relatively nice earlier strike. Let's see if that follows through. Take a look at this one on the reverse side and see, make sure that we have a good follow through with a nice strike on this. I believe we will. And it has to prove me wrong. See all that modeling right there in the middle where you got a whole bunch of little marks and stuff? That's not actually something that came onto the coin after the coin was struck. This was on the planchet prior to it being struck into a coin. What this is, what you're looking at on the upper surface of the O there in 1, all of this stuff right here was on the planchet before the coin was struck. Now when they struck the coin, this letter didn't sink all the way into the die, so it would mash against the highest recesses in the die and fill the letter in. So you're seeing the result of basically an incomplete strike, slightly incomplete strike. Whereas this area here filled in the die completely, and you can see that the design is well pressed. Well, that's the reason for this area being so weak and this area being so much stronger. You have to think, when you look just on the opposite side of this part of the coin right here, you're going to see the highest relief of the shoulder. of the bust of Lincoln. So that is going to be a problem. The annealing process, it's possible that could play a part, but it's not very likely. This is mostly about strike, especially with San Francisco, since they had kind of old, worn-out machines. There's another regular estimate mark there. See, this one had grease packed up inside the cavities, and it had a slightly weaker strike. It looks, if you look at the detail, just the detail, completely subtract the fact that the coin is bright and shiny. Just look at the detail itself. Imagine this being a brown coin. You would think it was extremely fine because it doesn't have full cheek detail, jaw detail. The detail above the ear is flat. It's all flat, but it's not flat because of wear. Extremely fine would make it worn. This is not worn. This is an uncirculated coin. So there's your weakness again. This is where the head is, which is why you have weakness there. This is where the ear and the back of the head and the hair is. And then this right up here is where the shoulder is on the other side. That one is for Crispy. Looks like we've got 6 coins left. Here's coin number 45. Let's see if we can find one of those RPMs, because so far I've only got 1 RPM in the entire roll, which that must have been a straggler coin. Straggler coins generally are ones that were bagged, that were from a separate bag, that were the last coins left from a separate bag, or the first coins from a new bag that happened to go into the counting machine to be rolled. And they're not part of the original source of the rest of the coins in the roll, but after they're wrapped by a wrapping company such as Loomis or Dunbar or any of those others, after the coins are wrapped into an original wrapper, then they become original source together. So you just add it on as another die in your original source, whereas the actual original source were from a mint sealed bag, and the mint sealed bags were 2 different bags made one roll. Very, very possible. Happens on a relatively frequent basis. But another thing is, the people might have noticed on this particular roll that the end coin was especially nasty looking, so they pulled it out and they threw another coin in there to replace it. And this one's got nice toning on it. Really nice color. And that, being something that people typically did back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, to keep a 50 coin roll so they could sell 50 coin rolls and not less. And they'd take a damaged coin or a coin that had a big spot or something they didn't like. They'd take it out and just toss another coin in the roll. And they had no idea at that point in time that somebody would open it in 40, 50, 60 years and say, oh, well, this isn't all original because these dies don't match each other. It's still good enough. We still call it an original roll, even though. Let's see here. Well, this is another regular estimate mark right here. And we have ourselves a normal coin. Again. There's Taco John there. And coin number 50. The last coin in the roll is going to go to Ant. And we're going to be done. I invite you to come back tomorrow. Watch the schedule tomorrow for other shows that we're going to be doing. I will have some reveals ready for our consumption tomorrow. At least 3 or 4 of them. And that's it. I appreciate it, folks. Thank you guys for being here. And I guess I'll see you tomorrow during our next best broadcast during the day tomorrow. You guys have a great night. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you later.